What's up, guys? So this is kind of a part 2 to the hot foot jar video, and there will be a part 3 as well. Part 2 is me making my invisibility candle, and part 3, which I will film tomorrow, will be me making my swamp jar. I just want to quickly kind of explain my thought process here. I have absolute confidence in my hot foot jar. It felt very powerful while I was doing it. I, of course, did more off camera, and I am completely satisfied with that and have full confidence in it, but it took 40 years to get to this point. 40 years of energy, conflict, what have you, has gone into this relationship. So I will feel better about it if I reinforce the hot foot jar, because I feel it will take something really powerful to break that. Hence, part 2 and 3 of this process. I figured I had you along for the first part, may as well have you along for the second and third. So without further ado, my invisibility candle. Okay guys, sorry about the lighting. My work table is just in front of the window and I have the curtain pulled, but it's kind of sheer. I just want to talk about what I've got laid out here, what I'll be working with real quick. So in this, what I call my candle cauldron, it's a crock pot, is my beeswax. I work exclusively with beeswax. I have numerous reasons for doing so. I love the smell of beeswax. I like its pliability as well, because some of my candles are hand molded. Beeswax is all natural, of course. You're not going to get residue with beeswax. It doesn't release soot or anything like that. And it works in a similar fashion to salt lamps in that it releases ions. So I'm all about beeswax. So the base of the candle, of course, will be beeswax. This is the container, the jar I'll be using to create my candle. It's just a glass jar. I have added a mirror in an effort to make my father's energies, intentions, thoughts, whatnot reflect back to him and help me with this idea of invisibility. And on the bottom, I have just, these are his initials in a sort of sigil, and then what it is I desire around the outside. And I basically just took the first letter of each word because it was too difficult with my little paintbrush to sit there and write it all out. Then I have this wax dye. This is black. I will only be using a small amount of this at the top of the candle. Now with my herbs, I've gone in the sort of what I consider to be the darker vein. There are going to be different schools of thought on that. I've worked with herbs for many years, and the herbs that I work with, I have established a strong bond and relationship with, and I have an understanding of their energies, at least in regards to how it interfaces with my own. Other people's experiences of these herbs may be different. But for me, all the herbs I've chosen are either in this sort of darker vein or they lend themselves nicely to it, which can be said of many herbs. But I have chosen specifically Datura, once again, for invisibility, red poppy and poppy seeds, also for invisibility, lavender, to add longevity, protection, and peace. I want peace in my life. And he can have plenty of peace as well. I've got some ginger here, of course, success, power, defensive magic, and even drawing. And when I say drawing, I am trying to draw in this influence of invisibility, this concept of invisibility, this pretense of invisibility. Just trying to create this energy through all this process, draw into this candle, this ability to let me go unnoticed by this individual. Next is my Hyjon. I've got it all ground up in here. It smells amazing. We have the Hyjon to bring success, protection, and also for defensive magic. Then we have Holly. I am adding for protection, amplify the energies, and its properties for defensive magic. We have pennyroyal. I'm adding the pennyroyal for strength, protection, to bring peace for the defensive magic, and to add extra power to the spell. We have some rue. I really need to get more. I'm adding rue for protection, defensive magic, to amplify the spell, and also a bit of retribution. And when I say that, I'm not wishing anything on him. I just want him to reap what he sowed in regards to our relationship. All he has done is feed poison into our relationship, made it toxic and ugly. And so I just want what would be justice, what would be fair, what would be right, and that is an end to it, for it to just end. There's mistletoe, which I'm adding for protection, to amplify the energy and defensive magic. Here we have dragon's blood. And of course, I want to add potency, strength, power, and energy to the spell, and also bring that energy of protection. I also have a bit of a disclaimer for anyone who's squeamish. I will be adding small amounts of my own blood to this candle. I am doing so to add extra oomph, power, and energy from myself into the spell, but also to tie myself and my father, as we share DNA, to the spell. First things first, I'm going to set a base for my candle. I'm going to be doing this candle in layers. I will edit it so that I'm not driving you all mad while I do so. So I'm adding my first layer of beeswax. I always have wick laying around as my husband and I make candles. That's kind of part of what we do. So I've just added a little nut to the end of this wick to weight it down in the jar. You can see that. I wouldn't do this if it were something I was going to be selling. I would go about it in a different way, but because it's just for me, it's no biggie. And I'm going to allow that to set. And when we come back, I'll add some of the ingredients and we'll start building this candle up. All right, it has set up enough for me to move on to the next phase, which is just putting some of the ingredients in. And for this part, I'm not doing intense energetic work with it at this point. I'm going to wait. I have set the intention of what it is I intend to do, and I will feed this candle after I've put it all together. I'm going to put different herbs in the different layers, and they'll bleed into each other as it goes on. Okay, next layer. Some lavender and some holly. And the part that I am looking forward to the least in this layer, I'll be putting a bit of my blood. I am such a wuss that even though I have poked myself and I'm bleeding, the poke was so slight that there's barely any blood to speak of. And it's already decided it doesn't want to bleed anymore. So I've put my blood on this piece of datura, and I'm putting that in. If you expected there to be massive amount of blood, you were mistaken. Okay, our next layer. Next layer, lay in some more dragon's blood, some more lavender, some poppy seeds, ginger. Right, the next layer is going to be my last layer, so it'll probably be the one that packs the most punch. Okay, in this top layer, I'm going to put some of everything. Come in with some poppy seeds, some rue. Next is red poppy, some mistletoe, lavender, pennyroyal, and dragon's blood. And I'm really packing everything in this top layer so that it all will bleed down through to the bottom. Ow. Okay. Gave myself a good little stick, but just like last time, same kind of problem. So, just like last time, I will, come on. So just like last time, I will put the blood on some datura and throw that in. When doing your own herb crafting, you should research your herbs to see whether or not they're toxic and whether or not you can burn them safely or bathe with them safely or what have you. Honestly, I don't do a whole lot of that. I just do what I want to do. I always have, and I'm going to be burning this in a well-ventilated area, so I'm not that worried about it. But if you're going to be using any of these ingredients in your own workings, I suggest that you look into the safety of the herbs that you're using. It has just come to my attention that my mic came unplugged halfway through this video or at some point during the filming of this video, so if the sound quality changed, I apologize. I'm sure it did. Right now I am making my beeswax black. Get it ready to go into this top layer of the candle. Alright, and here is our final layer to this, my Invisibility Candle. I will let that set. And, oh, there's a bubble, that's cool. Anyway, I'm going to take this and set it on my shamanic ancestor altar. I'm going to petition my ancestors to feed it, and I will burn it. I am also going to, of course, feed some energy into it, feed it before I put it up there. Tomorrow I will be doing the swamp bottle. My friendly neighborhood swamp witch stopped by earlier today and gave me swamp water, and she also gave me thistle and wild blackberry bramble. So I will be messing with all of that tomorrow. Thank you as always for watching. Until next time, much love and gratitude.